Here from MMA Today News. I am joined by Jason the Kid Knight. How are you, man?
I'm doing good, man. Fresh off of the test from USADA. They just left my house a few minutes ago, so trying to get this podcast done.
Yeah, of course. We were trying for ages, and then obviously they just shown up out of the blue. We had to give it another 15 minutes. What was that about? How did the process go?
Yeah, man. Every time that they come, they show up. Usually, just most of the time, it's just going to be sometime during the day they'll pop up and come in. And I fill out everything on their little tablet. All of my information and everything, and then go in the go in the bathroom. The guy he hands me the cup or whatever. He watches me take my piss, and then we come out and you pour it into two separate bottles. I don't know why, but they got two separate bottles. You pour it in. They got these locking lids on them. You lock the lids down. You seal it up in a little plastic bag, and then you stick it in a box. And then they put a piece of tape over the box, and then next thing you know, they're gone and don't see them again for a few more months.
That's some confidential piss right there.
Yeah, I know, right?
So that was basically it. Then they came to get a test off you for your urine.
That's it. Yeah, they take the urine test and then they go on about their business.
Fair enough. Okay, so going on to your next fight, you're taking on Gabriel Benitez at UFC Fresno on the 9th of December. What are your thoughts on this fight?
I mean, I've watched him fight before. It's gonna be pretty tough. He's got hard leg kicks. Got a good guillotine choke. He's not to be underestimated at all. I think that I'm pretty confident that I can go out here and win this fight. But I'm never gonna take any opponent lightly. So I'm gonna be busting my ass, getting ready for it, and try to go out here and make sure I get my hand raised. And he's definitely a sleeper. He's one of the guys that he hasn't got very far in the rankings yet. So people's probably going to be counting him out. A lot of people will probably count him out. But that's one thing that I'm going to make sure not to do, because I know that even though he's below me in the rankings or whatever, that doesn't mean anything. Anybody can win the fight on any given day. So I'm gonna go out there, bust my ass, getting ready for the fight, and try to make sure that I make no mistakes during the fight, and hopefully go out there and beat him up real good.
Would you have preferred a bigger name than Gabriel Benitez?
Yeah, I mean, of course, you always want to fight the next guy that helps you climb higher in the rankings, but at the same time, this is another step. Regardless of how big or how small, he's another step in the right direction. So I'll fight anybody that they give me. Any day. I'm never going to turn a fight down, and this is what they had to offer. So of course I jumped right on it. As soon as they told me, "Hey, we got you a fight," I didn't even really care who the name was. I just told them, "Send me a contract," and it just happened to be Gabriel Benitez. So he's the next step on my journey, and I'm excited to take that step.
Yeah, was he the only fighter offered to you?
Yeah, I mean he's the only one that they had to offer me. Uh, I don't know if they maybe had anybody else in mind or anything, but yeah, they called me and told me Gabriel, or they text. I sent Sean Shelby and my coach both a text. There was a fight. I can't remember the guys' names now, but there was a fight in Australia. I think it was Sydney, Australia. One of
Okay.
the featherweights that got hurt or something. And I
Yeah.
seen it on Facebook or whatever. My brother tagged me in it, and I text Sean Shelby and I text my coach and said, "Hey, such and such got hurt. Put me in the game. I want to fight." Well, that same day, Sean Shelby texted back and he said, "Hey, I just sent a fight offer to Allen." And Allen texted me and said, "Hey, they just sent me a fight offer. It's Gabriel Benitez." I said, "Hell yeah, tell him I said send the contract." And I think it was like 2 days later, I got the contract, and now we're set to fight.
Of course, yeah. And what do you expect his game plan to be against you?
Um, I honestly couldn't tell you. I think that he's most likely going to try to stand up with me because everyone's seen my ground game. Everyone knows that I've got a good rubber guard.
Of course.
So I don't really expect him to try and take me down and fall into that game because from what I can tell, I think that my ground game's better than his. And standing up, everybody knows that I'm bad about leaving my hands down and stuff like that. And I'm known for my toughness. I go out there and I grit it out and take the fight to people. And I think that most people, they're going to try to expose my chin. They're going to try to do whatever they can. They're going to think that, okay, well, nobody's knocked him out yet. I want to be that guy who knocks him out. So I'm thinking that's what he's going to try to do. He's going to try to capitalize on the mistakes that I make standing up. And, I'm just going to keep working my ass off to close all those holes and make sure that there's no mistakes for him to capitalize on.
And have you trained any differently for this fight, or will you be training any differently?
Oh yeah, a little bit. I always had a bad habit about dropping my hands during the fight. And that's really what cost me my last fight. The major factor. I stood up with my hands down and got caught with a solid punch and wasn't able to recover. So I'm going to be training as much as I can to make sure that I'm keeping my hands up every time I spar, every time I'm hitting pads, every time I'm doing anything standing. I'm going to try to make sure that I keep those hands up, and hopefully I won't have to worry about that anymore.
And about your last fight, what did you learn from that last loss?
Is you can't make no mistakes, Well, like at the lower level of UFC, where I was before, outside of the ranking, you can get away with some of those mistakes, and guys that they're not really seasoned like Ricardo Lamas was. If they're not super seasoned, they're not going to capitalize on those mistakes. And I got away with it for a long time. But Ricardo Lamas, as soon as I stood up and I had my hands down, he caught me with a good punch. And then once he seen I was rocked, he kept coming. He never let me even think about recovering. And that I learned that from the fight that at that level you make zero mistakes or you lose. If you make any kind of little mistake, they're going to capitalize on it. And from here on out, I try to make sure that I make absolutely no mistakes.
Yeah. Do you feel it was a step up too soon with that fight?
No, I don't. I don't necessarily feel it was a step up too soon because I was prepared. I was ready to go out there and win that fight, and I believe that I had all the skills to do it. It's just the little mistakes. I made the little mistake, and it cost me everything. It cost me the fight. But I mean, yeah, I guess in some aspects it was a little bit too much of a step up because he already knew that you're not supposed to make those mistakes. But I didn't never had to pay for making little mistakes, and Ricardo Lamas taught me that. But I mean, of course, I guess you could call it a little bit of a step up too soon, but at the same time, if I wouldn't have never made that step and I never had to pay for those mistakes, then I would still make those mistakes, moving on in my career. And, at that point in time, getting caught and winding up losing that fight, it really didn't cost me a whole lot of anything. I was ranked number 15 going into the fight. I fought the number 3 guy, and I didn't drop any in the rankings. I'm still ranked number 15. So I don't think that fight hurt me at all. If anything, I think it helped because it went out there and showed everybody around the world how tough I can be and, how much punishment I can take. And I think it probably gave me some new fans. But from now on, I think that I'll know more about those little things that you have to make sure that you're doing to keep from losing the fight. You know, like I said though, I think it was a mistake moving up so quickly, but at the same time, I think it was a very good thing for my career in the future.
So you think your stock went up despite the loss?
What now?
So do you feel with that fight that your stock went up despite the loss?
Oh yeah. I think that I think it definitely helped me out in my career. I think that everybody's gonna see that I'm not to be taken lightly. Nobody's just gonna take me out easily. And I mean, you can tell that from that fight that no matter how bad Ricardo Lamas wound up beating me, he had to work his ass off to take me out. It wasn't
Yeah,
just a one punch finish or anything like that.
yeah. Um, have you considered relocating to a bigger camp?
Oh no, definitely. Maybe cross train a little bit here and there,
Yeah,
but you know, Allen Belcher MMA Club is my home. These are the guys that's been by me, since I was 15 years old,
of course.
and
Yeah,
I could never see myself leaving them. Uh, they've helped me get through these first 6 UFC fights, and
yeah,
I think I've been doing. I think branch out and go train with other people. Maybe for a week at a time, 2 weeks at a time, stuff like that.
yeah.
But as far as my home gym, Allen Belcher, that's always going to be my home gym.
Of course. Yeah. Obviously, it's like home. It's like that with a lot of fighters, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Um, what's going on with Brendan Davis? Is he making his UFC debut anytime soon?
I don't know, man. We're waiting to hear back for him. He still hasn't got an opponent yet, or any kind of date or anything like that. But we're hoping that maybe they'll get him on this UFC Fresno card.
Oh right.
Um, the last I've heard about anything for him, Sean Shelby told Allen that he's going to be looking for, probably December 2nd through December 30th.
Yeah.
But go ahead and have Brandon prepared to fight in November, just in case. And that's pretty much the same thing they said for me. Was it's most likely going to be December 2nd through December 30th, but be ready for November just in case. And I wound up getting a fight for December 9th in Fresno, and we're hoping that maybe Brandon will get the same call.
Yeah, that'd be quite a step up and good for your camp too. And a last question. Who would be your who would be your the fight that you would love? Any division.
Uh, the fight for me to have,
Yeah, yeah.
or just a fight I would love to watch.
No, a fight that you would love to be in. Someone you've always looked up to, you'd want to fight.
Someone I've always looked up to that I would want to fight would probably be Jose Aldo. He's one of the greats, and he's somebody that if you beat Jose Aldo, you've done something. I think that'd be fun to watch and fun to participate in. But one of the main fights that I've been gunning for since I've gotten in the UFC, I want to fight Doo Ho Choi. Everyone knows that. They know I want to fight the Korean Superboy, and eventually it's gonna happen. It's just a matter of staying in there, keeping on winning, and eventually they'll book that fight. But I'm hoping that after this Ricardo Lamas Jose Aldo fight happens, I hope Ricardo Lamas goes out there and gets the win, and I think that would I hope that Ricardo beats him easier than he beat me, because I think that would help me out. Hey, I got beat by Ricardo Lamas, but so what? He just beat the former champ. I think that would look very good on me.
Fair enough, man. That's all I've got for you today.
Uh,
Thank you for speaking with me, and also thank you to your girlfriend as well for for making this happen. Because without her, we were just gonna sit here trying to call each other for hours.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it. Anyone that's listening to this podcast, go follow me on Twitter. It's at Jason the Kid 23, Instagram at JTK the Kid. and go to my fan page. It's Jason the Kid Knight on Facebook, and give it a like, give it a share, help me get my followers up. Thank y'all so much.
Of
Thank you
course,
for having me on the show.
definitely worth an ad, man. Thank you very much. I'll speak to you soon. Good luck for your
All
fight in
right.
December too.
Yes, sir. You have a good one.
Cheers, man.
Bye.